What is going on, everybody? This is Justin Martinez, aka Jada Sports Dude, coming to y'all live from my apartment. Hopefully you all are staying at your homes as well, practicing social distancing and staying safe during this pandemic, and I'm here to provide y'all with a little bit of extra entertainment. That's right, folks, it is time for the latest episode of Aggie Mailbag, the weekly web series where I answer your most pressing questions about the New Mexico State men's basketball team every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And if you guys want to see the written version of this, same questions, same answers, well, that is on lcsunnews.com. You can take a quick look at our sports page right there. Shout out to everybody who's sending questions for this week. Although after looking at the script, I can tell this is going to be a bit of a shorter video. Apologies, guys, we didn't get a whole lot of questions in for this week, which is fine. I'm still here to provide you guys with some content. And if you want to provide me with some questions moving forward, well, there are plenty of ways to do that. You can find me on Twitter, which is at @JTheSportsDude. You can email me, which is jmmartinez@gannett.com. You can find me on Facebook, which is our Las Cruces Sun News Sports page. And you can find me on the message boards of Aggie Alert, which is going to be popping up right here. Now, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty, guys, let's go ahead and get started with question number one. You know the drill by now. I have my trusty mailbag beside me, and this is coming to us courtesy of @TiddlyGibbon via Twitter. He wants to know if there is a conference-only season, do the players who have to sit out half a year still have to sit out half the conference season? Now, to answer your question, no, they would not. It's really a case of when the season begins that'll determine how much we get to see them play this year, as opposed to if it is a conference-only schedule or not. And I'll go ahead and explain that. So New Mexico State has 4 incoming Division I transfers. You've got Portland's Jacob Tryon, South Florida's Mayan Kerr, Oklahoma State's Marcus Watson, and then UNLV's Donnie Tillman. But of that group, Watson and Kerr are in a different boat. And that's because the NCAA requires that a player complete 2 academic semesters at his new university before being eligible to play. And since Kerr and Watson actually enrolled last spring, they already have 1 semester done under their belts, and they only need 1 more to go until they're able to suit up for the Aggies. But then you look at Tillman and Tryon, they joined this summer and therefore still have 2 more semesters to go. So because of this, guys, Watson and Kerr are going to be able to suit up for the Aggies at the end of this upcoming fall semester, which ends on December 15th. And that's why I'm saying it really matters when the season begins, because if it starts right around when it did last season, in that case it was November the 5th, well, that's more or less a month's worth of basketball that they're going to have to sit out. However, if the season were to get pushed back and delayed, well, then that's less time that they're going to have to miss, especially if the season were to begin after December 15th. Well, then they get to play the entire campaign under those circumstances. Now, we don't know when the season is going to start, not only for the Aggies, but just for college basketball in general. However, when we're talking about Watson and Kerr, December 15th is the date to mark on your calendar, unless their waivers are approved to become immediately eligible. New Mexico State has put out waivers for all 4 of its Division I transfers, and it's really just a matter of when the NCAA will get around to them and come out with a decision. Now, I don't have a timeline for that, unfortunately. However, it is something that I am monitoring as well. So to go ahead and sum it up for you guys, both Tryon and Tillman are going to have to sit out this entire season unless their waivers are approved to become immediately eligible. And then Kerr and Watson are going to have to sit out until December 15th unless their waivers are approved to become immediately eligible. Alrighty, guys, let's go ahead and keep it moving with question number 2. I'm reaching right back into the mailbag here. And this one is going to be coming to us courtesy of Real Aggie via Aggie Alert. He wants to know, is the 2020-2021 men's basketball schedule all final now? No, it is not. Unfortunately, I really wish that it was, guys, so I could start breaking down the schedule, even my record prediction, similar to what I did at the beginning of last season. I've got a lot of stuff planned that's really contingent on knowing who they're going to be playing this year, and unfortunately, all that we have are 4 games currently scheduled. I'll go ahead and just run through the list. So New Mexico State is starting off with the game in Albuquerque against its rivals, New Mexico. That is on November 21st, before hosting the Lobos in Las Cruces on December 5th. New Mexico State then has a pair of neutral games, beginning with a matchup against Northern Iowa on December 13th in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, followed by a battle against Santa Clara and Las Vegas on December 23rd. So again, those are the only games that have been finalized as of right now, and I really haven't been given a timeline, unfortunately, for when we'll find out more games, let alone a schedule altogether. My guess is that it's going to be later rather than sooner, just because there's a lot of question marks around the season itself. So unfortunately, we're going to be waiting just a little bit longer, guys, but of course, I'll be providing updates. As soon as I hear something, I'll make sure to let you guys know. Alrighty guys, like I said, this is a shorter video, and unfortunately we're already here on the home stretch with question number 3. I'm reaching right back into the mailbag here. This one is going to be coming to us courtesy of Hoopsmaster23 via Aggie Alert. He wants to know, what role do you think Marcus Watson will have this season? I can definitely see him carving out a solid role off the bench for this upcoming campaign. That is a former 4-star recruit, a 6'6", 215-pound athlete who really brings a lot to the table for the Aggies. And I'll go ahead and get into it here. On the offensive side of the ball, there's a guy who has a deadly blend of athleticism, the vertical, but also the physicality, the strength down low. This is an aggressive finisher. That is primarily how he gets his buckets, is driving to the rim. And it's a big reason why he averaged 22.4 points at Buford High School in Buford, Georgia 2 years ago, because again, he did not play at Oklahoma State last season. On the defensive side of the ball, there's a guy who crashes the glass really aggressively. It's a big reason why he averaged 6.7 rebounds per game in his senior season with the Wolves. However, it is worth noting he was averaging 9.1 boards per game in his sophomore season. So really encouraging stuff there. Now with him being such a young player, there is still room for improvement. Of course, I would definitely like to see him add a more consistent jump shot. To me, that'll just make his game a little bit less predictable on offense, and then tightening his handles would definitely go a long way as well. It would just add a little bit more value to him, his role with the team, if he is able to handle the ball at that 2 spot as opposed to just playing the 3 spot. Now with that being said, definitely he can make an impact right away. Now as of right now, I do see Jason King as the primary backup for New Mexico State at that shooting guard spot while we're waiting to find out when Watson will play. However, Watson could definitely take over that backup spot if that's where Jans wants to play him for most of his minutes. But there's definitely going to be a hole at that small forward spot if UNLV transfer Donnie Tillman is not granted immediate eligibility, which is something we were talking about in question number 1. If that is the case, then Watson certainly would be the primary backup small forward playing behind the veteran Clayton Henry. So there are a lot of factors that'll determine just how big a role he will have this season. Because of that, it's really hard for me to give a real stat line prediction for him, but I'll give just a rough estimate. I could see him being in the ballpark of around 4.6 points and 2.7 rebounds in 14.5 minutes per game this upcoming season. But guys, that is going to go ahead and do it for this episode of Aggie Mailbag. Shout out to everybody who is watching this video. I really do appreciate it. And I will definitely appreciate it if you could leave a like on this video and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, because it really does just help this channel grow. Again, we're doing this every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And as long as you guys keep sending me questions, I'll go ahead and keep this going. But for today, I am out of here, guys. It's been Justin Martinez, aka Jay the Sports Dude, and I'm out.